Are you one of the 75% of contractors whose financial statements are inaccurate? Find out. Click on the link in the show notes and you'll get a free P&L and balance sheet check.
This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
All right, this is podcast 357, 5, 4, 3. Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Financially Fit Business. Make your financial statements come alive. Stay financially healthy this year. Go to www.financiallyfit.business and get started today. Thank you for joining us. Here is how we will help your business and you. How do you achieve growth and prosperity? My guest today, Ed Jarecki, wrote the book on achieving growth and prosperity in 6 steps. You might recognize Ed's name. He's been my guest in the past. Ed has grown and sold many businesses, and he now coaches others like you on these 6 steps. Ed, welcome to Contractor Sense.
Hi, Ruth. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yeah, welcome back, I should say, not just welcome. I mean, right?
Absolutely.
So, since we talked about 6 months ago, tell me what's been going on with respect to the book. I mean, the book is Achieving Growth and Prosperity, right?
It is absolutely achieving growth and prosperity, and it's helping a lot of my client prospects, my colleagues, et cetera, understand ways, what they should do and ways in which to implement them for their business the right way and to be able to sustain that discipline over time. So since the last time that we talked, I actually started putting a lot of this into place, and the value proposition associated with it really allows me to help my clients up front before they take a step, understand what a few of the best practices are. And if they would like, then I offer them the opportunity to actually determine what that means to their top and bottom lines for their business. If they were to implement those same strategies, do so doing it the right way and sustaining that discipline over time.
Yeah, I think the issue more than anything else is sustaining it. I mean, this is the new year. Everybody goes, oh yeah, I want to do this, want to do this, I want to do this. And what I think the studies have shown that most New Year's resolutions are gone in like 10 days or something like that. I mean, so how, the sustain part is probably the hardest part, isn't it?
It is, but with today's tools, it starts to make it easier. And by starting, I mean, you got to start someplace. And it really starts with what's your plan, what's your business model, who are your target customers, and what's your delivery plan and serving those customers the right way. And then from that plan, it's what are the priorities that I need to implement for my business to help solve my customers' problems, precisely the problems that are going on in their mind. Once I've been able to do that, then I can take that step back and move over to what solutions do I have that precisely solve that prospective client's problem. And it's the precision of that, it's the depth of that that actually starts to connect the dots and resonate with prospective customers relative to you, your business, and your brand, and the solutions that your brand offers.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a situation where, all right, let's sit down, put it on paper, get it started. And that's really sometimes the hardest step, isn't it?
It is, right. But again, with today's tools, what used to take us, days, weeks, months to do can be done in hours to days. And we've got so much information at our disposal. We're really the architects of taking that information and leveraging it for our business and our business's best benefit.
Yeah, that just makes it a whole lot easier. All right, so let's dive into the 6 steps, okay? All right.
When you say 6 steps, there's really 2 sides of my business: strategy, planning, and performance. And to talk a little bit about those is it starts with strategy. What's your vision, mission, values, and goals? And matter of fact, I'm in the completion stages of a new course called Entrepreneurial Growth, and I haven't officially named it, but it's really about helping business owners understand what they need to work through to be successful business owners. And that upfront piece, and I'm going to take a slight detour from what I started with, it's really about behaviors and mindset. And so the first thing is helping business owners understand what mindset is right for them relative to their business. Do they still have the passion for it? Has that passion changed? If so, how? And if they still have the passion for it, what's going to reinvigorate that passion towards some future purpose? But that all comes from a mindset of, I need to open my mind to things that I haven't necessarily done before, even beliefs that I may have kind of pushed off to the side, open to, is there something under that? Relationship marketing is a great example versus more traditional marketing. There's a huge leap of faith that spending 80% of my time focusing on developing relationships is going to ultimately result in more customers that I actually can retain much more readily over time. But in executing that leap of faith, it becomes one of the foundational principles for any business success.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know whether you know this, but I'm a tennis fan. I played tennis when I was in college. I paid for my college team. And so I was watching Tennis Channel the other night, and Coco Vandeweghe, who was a tennis professional, she said, I went to Wimbledon one year and wasn't even excited about being there. I knew it was time to quit. So sometimes it's, this will help you know when it's time to quit too.
That's exactly right. And when it's time to quit, when you determine that, hey, I need to start that process, the stronger your organization is defined relative to its strategy and its performance is going to best position you to maximize the sale of that business or setting it up as a legacy, et cetera. So the exit part of that strategy actually is fed by the other 6 steps that lead into having a successful business with a successful life. Exactly. Or still want to do it for those that maybe if you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't wake up passionate about what you're doing or, most of the time, all right, let's be real. We all have days. Okay. But, if you don't like what you're doing, why the hell are you doing it? Excuse me for saying it that way, but life's too short. Good grief.
Exactly. But so many people out there get caught in a trap where it's about their business and life seems to slip away.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, if they want the book, how do they get it?
Well, they go out to my website and I didn't have that pulled up here, but my Profit Coach website is https but jareckibcc.profitcoach.app. And that actually is a free download of my book, or just contact me directly at ed@jareckibcc.com.
Cool. Very good. We will be right back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense.
Imagine you had total freedom. You didn't have to worry about money. You didn't have to be a slave to your business. The words, I can't, are eliminated from your vocabulary. What if you could do what you want to do, whenever you want to do it? A financially fit business could give you that freedom. How? By knowing what your financial statements are telling you and taking action based on what they say. You can do this in less than 10 minutes a month at an investment of less than taking your family out to dinner once a month. And if your financial statements are a mess, you can get help. Go to www.financiallyfit.business or click on the QR code below to get started today.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I'm speaking with Ed Jarecki, who wrote the book on achieving growth and prosperity. So, Ed, give everybody your website again before we get started and how they can get a hold of the free download of the book.
You can go directly and get the free download at my website, jareckibcc.profitcoach.app. Or contact me at ed@jareckibcc.com, and I'm happy to send you over a PDF copy.
Very good. All right, so let's dive in some more. All right, so we figured that strategy is the first, and making sure that you want to be doing this, and you're happy doing it, and you're excited, and you enjoy it, and everything else like that. So let's assume that we're happy, we enjoy it, we want to be doing this. What's next?
Well, as part of the strategy, what we started to touch on is a vision, mission, values, and goals. Those are outlined. And when we talk goals at the strategy level, they're really your strategic goals, typically 5 years, but there are many that argue that 2 or 3 years based on the pace of change is more appropriate in today's world. Either way, it's incredibly important to have that established North Star, your vision, defined clearly. As part of that, the next step is really about metrics. And that goes back to those SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And from there, it's what are the KPIs that are going to allow you to deliver to those SMART goals that are going to continue your march towards achieving your vision.
Okay.
Once it's defined, it really starts moving into your customers and defining your target customers. But before I move there,
Yeah, let's keep going.
so from a customer perspective, your ideal customer, many stop at demographics, but it's really, there's two sides to that equation. So understanding that I'm, small to mid-sized business owners, 500,000 to 20 million in overall size, targeting these specific industries. Those are all what you would call or put in the demographics profiling. On the other side of that is more the behavioral side, the mindset side of the conversation. And it really speaks to a different set of questions that need to be asked. And I'm quickly pulling something up here.
Yeah, I think, it's really kind of cool to know, okay, they live in a house of, X value and they're X years old and range, things like that. But, what's their pain? What keeps them awake at night? I think that's just as important to find out than all the demographic stuff, isn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. You have to know the basic demographics, but if you're trying to solve the problems that are in their mind precisely, then it really needs what does their day look like? What are the problems through that day that they're experiencing? What are the things that they feel are preventing them from moving to that next step? And helping them with whatever that takes. Could be a mindset, could be a plan, could be operational, could be whatever. But until you understand what that precise problem is, throwing solutions at it is never going to work, not in 2024, 2025.
No, because you may be solving the wrong problem.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and then you'd be, who's the Greek myth who kept rolling the rock up the hill and it kept rolling back? That's basically what that is.
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about? Who I'm talking about? I can't remember his name, but there was a Greek guy who, his penalty was, pushing this rock up a hill and pushing this rock up a hill, and that's what you're doing if you're solving the wrong problem. You're never getting to the top. You're never getting to be able to help your client base and your customer base at that point.
Agreed.
So, very good. All right, what's next?
Well, the next part of this really goes on to your marketing. What's your marketing plan? So once you've defined your ideal customers and you've got down to that level of my market is real estate, I'm going to target HVAC companies within that industry, within that market. And those businesses look or shape like this. This is the problems that they're dealing with. Now, how am I going to connect with them? And there's a couple of sides to this. There's the brand side of it and developing your brand. I actually follow a model by Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand. And it really is an encompassing approach at defining your brand and propagating it out there to the marketplace with a consistent theme and messaging behind it. Who are you? What's your differentiator out in that marketplace? So in the development of your marketing plan, that's the first question to ask. How are you differentiating yourself in the marketplace? I call that a position of market dominance. And that position of market dominance for your respective business is fundamental to everything that you're doing and how you're communicating with your prospective clients. And then it goes to your channel strategy. My social media, my digital strategy, my more traditional email, maybe text, which is not necessarily traditional, but it's part of that that side of emails, call outs, and texts. And so for my business, I've got both of those sides, and I've got specialists, two specialists actually on the social media and YouTube side, and one specialist handling the other parts of it. But for each of them, what we've got is a consistent set of messages based on who I am as a business, my position of market dominance, the problems that I'm solving for my customers as precisely as I can define them, and then identifying and providing the precise solutions once I've got to that. And that's all laid out in your marketing plan.
Yeah. And I think also what it does is it tells you who's not your customer, just as important.
I 100% agreed. Is that you're setting up each one of those campaigns, you're going in to target precisely as possible who are you trying to connect with out there in the industry. And that means, yes, there's a whole lot of people you're not trying to connect with because they don't fit that target customer constraint that you developed as part of your marketing plan.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of small business owners make a mistake, because they just say, okay, my market is this, but they don't dive deeper into the market, into the, what makes you tick type marketing.
And then the other thing is tying marketing to the next segment, which is sales, in relationship marketing versus the more traditional. And I actually have 5 coaches. One of them is a sales coach. And the sales coach is actually a little bit more traditional in their approach because they've lived their entire life around the sales world. And so then the question comes in is, okay, if I'm using relationship marketing, how does that transition to actually being able to close sales? And that's where the leap of faith has to take, that I'm going to build these relationships over time. I'm going to connect with them in the right things, always providing value as part of those connections, more value that I'm trying to take in, or being perceived to take in, which is an incredibly important part of that equation. But it's developing those relationships so that you're meeting them at the point they're ready to buy with a solution that precisely solves their problem. And so marketing and sales becomes a very seamless funnel system to get the right people on your calendar so that you have the opportunity to build those relationships and ultimately turn them into new clients.
Very good. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. There's a lot of constraints to any business. It's important to understand those. And as I've been guiding my team, having a clear vision, a clear set of focuses, but focusing on making small incremental improvements every day versus trying the big bang approach is much more conducive to huge improvements, progress, and success over time.
Very good. And give us your website one last time, please.
My website is Jarecki, BCC.profitcoach.app.
Very good, Ed. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Ruth, it's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to our next follow-up.
Yeah, me too. And thanks to all of you for joining us. Choose one thing you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email Ruth King at hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.